We're at Renishaw in Miskin. Now straight away you're probably thinking CMM, styli, equator gauge, even 3D printing as examples. A huge amount of stuff, 4,000 across the world, if not more. How many machines you got at this site?
At this site we've got about 85 CNC machines.
So you're showing off a bit there, but what we're here to do is find out about your suite of Citizens. Just quickly, how many have you got here and how many in total?
We've got 23 machines on this site and 58 in total.
Impressive stuff. So first of all, latest acquisition, they're B12s. So latest acquisition, you've got six B12s in total, of which you bought 3 recently.
Yeah.
Why do you like them so much?
They're reliable machines. We've got a lot of them, so they need to be consistent and reliable. We require quite a lot of important surface finish and dimensional tolerances, so they produce that reliably and consistently.
Okay, so essentially, you know, you've got 3-metre bar feeds on all the machines. You can leave these running 24/7, know that they're going to come off. Any intervention afterwards in terms of cleaning, surface finish?
So some processes are required afterwards on some parts, but a lot of our parts just come off complete.
Yeah.
They're clean just to remove the oil, and then they're ready for assembly.
So, I mean, how many parts are you making a year?
This line we're making about 2.5 million parts a year on this line of Citizens, so quite a lot of parts.
So keeping those processes nice and straightforward and no other operator intervention key, I should imagine.
Yeah, keeping our operator input down to a minimum, helps keep our costs down, and consistent, reliable processes are important.
And what I'd like to do is just have a quick look at some of the parts you're making on the B12s, if I may. So we've got some we prepared earlier.
Yeah, so there's fairly simple parts we make on these B12s, but we've got a lot of grooving, turning, threading, some broaching in the end of this part as well. So you know, quite a bit going on, but all fairly simple in a way to start with.
So this is all turning. Any driven tooling?
Yeah, we got a couple of cross-driven tools on this machine, so we can do a bit of little cross milling. So this has got some flats that are milled on the side, so we make that complete on here as well.
Okay. Now another part you've got here, which is really showcasing what you mentioned about surface finish.
Yeah, so a lot of our products are going out straight to a customer. They're going to see the machine finished. So the surface finish on outside faces are important. Yeah. So this part comes off complete with that finish, and there's no subsequent finishing operations to improve that. So we're reliant on the machine to give us a consistent surface finish, so the customer sees.
And you say consistency. You know, you've got confirm how many machines across the group?
We've got 58 Citizen machines. Yeah.
Okay. So that you have to have that. That's why we've got that whole suite of Citizens. They're giving you that consistency.
Yeah. So because they're all Citizens, we know that if we're moving parts between machines, we're going to get the same reliable results.
Okay, next machines then, K16s. But one thing I want to actually just cover off is footprint of the machines, because you do have a huge site here and across the group, but footprint can be an issue?
Yeah, having the smaller machines does mean we can get them close together, and we have outgrown our machine shop in the past. Right. So keeping the machines small means that we're less likely to do that in the future.
So you get that with the Citizen machine, which is key to what you require?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
So the K16's here, clearly bigger bar, but what else extra do you get from these machines?
So they got a few more driven tool positions, which helps with a bit more milling work. They're a bit quicker, they're a bit more, hold the tolerances a bit better, so they're good all-round machines for that size of part.
Okay. And as is usual, what we're going to do is ask you about components manufacturing. So here is one of many thousands you prepared earlier. If you just want to talk me through this one.
Yeah, so this is a small part we make, which has got both turning and milling features on it. It's got cross milling, and we've got quite tight tolerances on some of the milled features. So that's a key feature of the part. We've also got, again, a surface finish that we require to be looking good because it's a customer finish face. And again, this part has very little operations afterwards, so it's cleaned and done. Okay. So the part is coming off as complete, basically. So
two points that I'm getting along the line here is A, surface finish is key, and also operator intervention during the manufacture, but also subsequent, it doesn't need anything else doing to it.
Yeah, that's correct. Trying to keep the number of operations down keeps our costs down. The number of operators across the machines keeps the costs down. So.
Right, okay. So that's the K16s. What next?
We'll look at the A series next.
Clearly these are bigger bar, but before we do that, I just want to find out about the F series machines.
So we've got some F series machines on this site, and we've had them in production since the mid-80s. So they're, reliable machines for a long period, and Renishaw's got a long history with running with Citizen machines.
So great endorsement of, long running and also the relationship with Citizen. So A32s though, tell me about what you're doing on these machines.
So these machines are obviously, like I said, bigger than the K series, but they've got a few more driven tool positions as well, and they're much more rigid, stronger machines. So we can do a bit more heavier machining and get into the guts of the thing a bit more.
Okay, so the bigger cuts. So a great example here is this component.
Yeah, so we've got a component here where we've got quite a lot of machining to take out the middle. That doesn't take a lot of time to take out the hulk of that, but we've still got all the features of the cross milling and the face milling to give us the complexity in the part.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of different turned parts on it as well, so quite a complicated part.
And another example you got there hidden away.
Yeah, so although these are bigger machines, we do make smaller parts on them sometimes. This one's got quite a lot of face milling, it gives us that ability, with some quite tied up tolerances on hole positions, but we can make this part fairly quickly on these machines.
Right, okay. Now one thing, these parts are all sort of relatively short, but concentricity is key on these machines as well, is that right?
Yeah, some of our parts have quite tied up concentricity between faces, so these machines do give us that ability to produce those features within required tolerances.
And last but not least, the M32s. So, how do these machines differ to the A32s?
Obviously they make a similar size part, but on these machines we've got a lot more tooling, and they've actually got a turret with a large number of tooling, giving us a lot more milling options and different things we can make.
Okay. So I'm going to reiterate then, surface finish, concentricity, accuracy, reliability, repeatability.
Yeah, they're all important. It goes across the line, and by having the citizens across the line, we know when we move from one platform to another, we're getting the similar sort of results.
Okay. Now again, I'd like to have a look at what the parts you're making. So here's another one you prepared earlier.
Yeah. So here's a little part we're making on here. As you can see, there's quite a lot of like cross milling features to it. We've even got milling on the end, but the amount of milling on this part exceeds some of our other platforms' capability to mill them, and hence why it's on these machines, even though it still remains quite a small diameter part.
So, how would you summarise why you like Citizen so much?
We've obviously got a long-standing relationship with Citizen, and we've had them for a long time. By having a line of all Citizen machines mean we've got a consistency of approach. We've got the same machines on multiple sites, which means we can transfer production between two different sites and get the same results. We get the reliability we want, we get the dimensional tolerances we want, and we get the surface finishes we want. So the whole package together gives us exactly what we want.
So there it is, a great insight into Renishaw PLC, which is a global company being supported by Citizen Machinery UK.